All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm glad to be here to open our symposium today. Excuse me. Sorry, we're starting. Yeah. So I'm glad to be here to open our symposium called AI for Biomedical Data Science Across Skills on behalf of our Public Health Sciences Biostatistics program and also our colleagues from UW, Allen Institute, and Seattle Children's across the Cancer Consortium. So we want to purpose this as a statistical AI symposium for the following reasons. So we all know that AI is now influencing research from imaging and genomics to prevention and population science. And our Fred Hutch is especially well positioned because our work spans across scales, including molecular, cellular, clinical, behavioral, and population scales. And the opportunity is not just to use AI, but to use it in a way that is rigorous, interpretable, and translatable to cancer research. So I want our audience to think about two questions in this symposium today. One is about how we should use AI. Secondly, how to use it rigorously and how statistical thinking can be helpful. So by across scales, I mean that here's a list which can cover our speakers' topics today. So we have speakers working on other scales I'm listing here: molecules, cells and tissues, patients, behaviors, and populations. And our main speakers today include first Jeff Leake and Amy Pagragan from our Chief Data Office. They will talk about institutional AI strategy, data infrastructure, and practical opportunities for AI at Fred Hutch. And then we'll have two speakers, Susan and Matthews from Allen Institute. They will talk about AI for high-dimensional cell imaging and cellular phenotyping. Then our colleague Eric Madsen from Public Health Sciences Computational Biology program talking about how he uses AI in his population genetics and evolutionary dynamics research. And then Bill Noble from UW Genome Sciences, he will talk about how he uses machine learning and AI for genomics, proteomics, and high-dimensional biological data. And Sonali, she is a clinical analyst. She will talk about practical AI and clinical data applications. She has given multiple tutorials within Fred Hutch. And we also had two lightning talks from Lucas Liu, who is a staff scientist at BioStat program in Public Health Sciences. He'll talk about cancer prevention-oriented research and translational perspective. And Ziqi Rong, who is a UW PhD student, talk about AI agents for dissemination and operationalization of statistical methods. In the end, we will conclude with a panel discussion, including Jonathan Breaker and Youyi Fong, Jeff Leake, Lucas Liu, Bill Noble, Ali Shoujie, and Wei Sum to talk about how we can do some cross-disciplinary brainstorming together, spanning epidemiology, biostatistics, computer science, genomics, prevention, and statistical methodologies. So I also want to use the time to talk a little bit about our PHS Biostatistics program. We have faculty whose research cover all these 5 areas listed here. You can see that we're already doing cross-scale methodological research, which can be well positioned to think about how AI can be a powerful tool for doing better research and more effective, efficient research nowadays, while still maintaining our core in thinking rigorously. And I want to say that if AI adds power, then biostatistics adds trust. So biostatistics shouldn't be thought about as just a step after you have the data, you build a model, and then interpret results. In fact, we can participate from the beginning in study design and to define what is target population we want to study. And also, when we think about model selection, we need to have the mind of uncertainty quantification and calibration from very early on. And once we have the result, we need to think about potential biases in our results, whether it's fair and also whether it's missing data and missing opportunities. And as a result, how to do validation, do sensitivity analysis to make sure that our conclusions can generalize. Finally, we really want to make the model beyond prediction. We want to be able to interpret and reproduce the results and make sure that our conclusions have the level of uncertainty that we can trust. So in short, we think biostatistics and AI together can form a very, complementary power in enhancing cancer research together in a data-driven way. And finally, I want to say why we think Fred Hutch is at the center for this statistical AI innovation. First, we have a very strong biostatistical team that has nation and international participation with a lot of large-scale studies. So we have these expertise accumulated from many years of research. And we also have cutting-edge expertise with new modalities like omics, imaging, EHR, and also our history in population data. And also we have Seattle is a hub for this data-driven research because we have colleagues from UW, Seattle Children's, and also Allen, who the speakers I will see today. So, and also we are doing this institutional infrastructure of AI strategy and data resources, as we will hear from our Chief Data Office. So the questions for the day will include how can AI most accelerate